Salt is one of the oldest magics we ever knew, not the storybook kind. This kind of magic shows up in your food, your sweat, your skin. It's been part of life for so long we stopped calling it magic, but that's exactly what it is. We pass it on the table without reverence. We scatter it on sidewalks to melt ice. We bury it in processed food and curse it when it clings to our blood pressure. But salt is not ordinary. It never was. It was once sacred, once rare, once deadly and divine. Salt preserves life. That alone makes it holy. Long before refrigerators and chemical preservatives, it was salt that held the memory of the hunt, the harvest, the meal meant to last beyond its moment. A slab of meat salted and hung was not just food. It was security. It was survival. Salt stopped time. And anything that can stop time is already casting a spell. Entire empires rose and fell because of it. Roman soldiers were paid in salt. From that, we get the word salary. Roads were built to carry it. Wars were waged to possess it. To lack it meant weakness. To hoard it meant power. And somehow, over the centuries, we came to believe it was just seasoning. We forgot that when salt touches fire, it crackles like an incantation. That to salt the earth was once a final curse against one's enemies. That witches circled themselves in salt, not out of folklore, but because salt changes things, energetically, electrically, molecularly. Salt does not just sit, it dissolves, it binds, it amplifies. Salt conducts electricity. That means it is part of how your nerves fire, how your brain signals your limbs, how your heart keeps its rhythm. You are not alive without salt. Not for long. The blood in your veins mimics the salinity of ancient oceans, echoes of Earth's first spell, when life stirred in saltwater tide pools beneath alien stars. When you cry, when you sweat, when you bleed, you release salt. It is not waste. It is essence. It is something the body guards and spills with equal purpose. And yet, we curse it, package it, strip it of minerals, reduce it to tiny bleached cubes. We forgot it was magic. We forgot it was wild. But the world remembers. Cultures all over the planet still scatter salt on thresholds to keep bad spirits away. In Japan, sumo wrestlers throw handfuls of it before matches to purify the ring. In the Balkans, a pinch of salt is placed in a newborn's hand to guard against envy. In Africa, salt is rubbed on the skin to cleanse dark energies. The instinct to protect with salt transcends borders. It is as if humanity once agreed that this white dust is not mere mineral. It is memory, and memory is powerful. If you are still with me now, if you are already starting to feel something stirring, like recognition, you might be ready to see more of what the world hides in plain sight. In the description below, I have left some links, ideas, references, threads worth pulling. Click through if you want to dig deeper, if you want to remember what you already know. But stay here with me just a little longer, because we are not done. There's a kind of spell we cast every time we prepare a meal, a ritual that involves water, fire, and always salt. We take the raw and we transform it, not with magic wands, but with hands and heat and timing. And when we gather at the table, we pass the salt without thinking. But that moment, that gesture, is older than civilization. In some cultures, refusing salt is an insult, a sign that you do not trust the host. In others, to share salt is to seal a pact. In all, it is never just a pinch of white. There are stories of sailors who believed the sea demanded salt. If you did not offer it, whether by accident or blood, the ocean would take it from you. There are tales of miners deep underground who saw salt veins as sleeping giants, best left undisturbed. And there are writings, ancient and obscure, that claim salt is the only mineral that remembers light, that it is crystallized sun, that it is the earth's memory. Maybe that is why it stings when you rub it into a wound. It is not just pain, it is revelation. It draws the truth to the surface. Salt exposes, it clarifies, it purifies. And maybe that is why we have tried so hard to forget it is magic. Because if salt is sacred, then what else have we missed? What else do we touch every day without reverence? What else have we tamed, commodified, buried under packaging and slogans and factory farming? Salt is just the beginning. It is a gateway. And if you start seeing it again, not just as a flavor, but as a force, you might begin to see other things differently too. The way roots dig for minerals, the way tears come without warning, the way the ocean calls and never stops calling. You might begin to notice how the world works on patterns, on exchanges, on rituals. You might realize that modern life is ancient life wrapped in convenience. You might remember that humans did not invent magic, we just renamed it. Salt was never meant to be ordinary, and neither were we. Somewhere along the way, we buried the awe. We traded it for facts, for speed, for efficiency. But the magic is still there, in our bodies, in our kitchens, in the ocean, in the dust. The question is, will you taste it again? If you believe the world still holds magic, subscribe and help me uncover it.